Hello and welcome back. Today we want to start working on updating our users. But first, let's just quickly test out that we can actually add a user. Alright, so last time where we left off, we added the UI for adding a user, which is this bad boy right here. In today's tutorial, we are going to add a user and then start working on updating that user. Alright, so real quick, let's just go down here, and what we're going to do is define add user, right, which is just going to take self, and it's going to take the model view that is adding, like the model view that we opened to add the user. Alright, so I'm just going to call this MV. Okay, so like normally what you would want to do is first check if the values were added, right? So first check if inputs are not empty, so that we do not add empty users basically. But for our case right now, we're not going to do that because we don't want to waste any more time. But if you want, that is what we are going to do. Alright, and I'm just going to show you with one check here. So we know that our model view, right, has where is it? Our model view has text inputs, and all these text inputs are here, right? So what the first thing we want to do is give these text inputs IDs. So this is, I'm just going to do this real quick. So this is going to be F name, this is going to be L name. Let's go down. This is going to be U name for username. This is going to be password, and then finally this is going to be C password for confirm password, and those are all the inputs we need, right? So we know that our user, like our add user, is going to receive this model view. So for example, the first name is going to be model view dot IDs for that model view and F name, right? So actually let's just do this and change this F name to L name, change that to U name for the username, change that to PWD for the password, and then change that to CPWD for current password. And this is not the text itself, these are actually the widgets for all of these, right? So to do, actually let's put this down here. To do these checks, you would, for example, to check if first name was entered, right, you would say if fname dot text, which gets the text from our fname text input, right? And what I'd like to do is strip, right? And this basically means we are going to remove white space, just in case someone just added like space bars in there, right? And then if fname dot text dot strip is less than, say, 3, that means we cannot have a name with basically 2 characters or less, right? Then we are just going to return, and normally you would want to inform user that first name is invalid, right? But for our case, we can just return. Alright, and I'm not gonna do this for the rest of them because I just showed you, you can do it for all of them. In our case, what we're gonna do is we are going to borrow code from set users here. Alright, and actually we can literally reuse set users. Alright, and that is exactly what we're gonna do. So we're going to create a user. So the user is going to be, and this is going to be first. Again, I am too lazy to type it out again and again, so I'm just going to copy all of this, close that, go here, paste it in, remove that unnecessary item, and here instead of first name it's going to be fname dot text dot strip strip, because again I don't want the white space. Alright, and then I'm just going to copy this. Instead of my surname, I'm going to do lname. Instead of my username, I'm going to do uname. Then for the password, alright, for our password we're going to be encrypting this, right? So for now I'm just going to paste that in. Actually, let's just encrypt it right now, because why not, right? So I'm going to do import hashlib, because that's what we're going to use to encrypt the password. So I'm just gonna go up here and I'm going to say upass for the user password, and this is just going to be hashlib.sha256, and then this needs a string. So I'm just going to do pwd underscore pwd is going to be the password that was entered, the text.string, right? And we're going to add that, because that is what we want to encrypt, and I'm going to encode this. Alright, now with our new encrypted password, we want to hex digest this. Alright, and this gives us the encrypted string. So now in our password we can just use upass. Created at is a datetime object, so we're just gonna do datetime dot now, and then import that datetime. So from datetime import datetime, just like that. Alright, and I'm going to change this to a string. So let's do what is it called? I keep forgetting. UTC, I believe that is what I want. No. Oh my god, I keep forgetting what I usually use for it. Alright, let's actually, and let's just do this instead. Alright, we'll just do now is equal to datetime to datetime, and then we are going to do now is equal to datetime dot string from time, string from time, right? And this takes the date time that we are converting, as well as the format. Alright, so we're going to do year. Just going to reference this real quick because I want to check the format that we have. Oh, so it's year, and what is that? I believe that would be the month. I'm not sure, but if it's not, then we can always change it. So year, month, day, and then space, hour, and then minutes. Now I'm not sure if this is M or the small letter M. Anyway, let's try this. And that is what we're going to do for created. We are going to use now, and then signed in, we're just going to leave it like that. Alright, and then with our new user here, we can simply do self.set users and give it a list containing just this one user. Alright, let's run. We forgot to add this as a callback to our md.callback, and this is going to be self.that. Now on our model view, instead of just closing it, we are going to call the callback for closing it. So we're going to go to users, and we're going to find that X, where is it? Right there. And it's going to dismiss it, but it's also going to call our callback. All right, so root.callback, giving it root. All right, let's run this and see if it works as we wanted. So manage users, add a user, is going to do first name, name, my password, and this doesn't matter, add user, and add user is not really doing anything, and that is because root.callback here is called on the wrong item. We want it to be called on add when we click the add user, which is right here. So on release, we want to call our callback, and then we want to dismiss our model view. Okay, well, let's run this. Let's go again. Let's add new, and I'm just going to do Sam. Actually, I'm just gonna do empty. Just gonna do Samuel. My password is my password. Add user, and what is this? Oh no, we want the length. All right, which is right here. We want the length of the string, not the string itself. Okay, let's run this again, and hopefully this time it works as we wanted. So we're just gonna go here, just gonna do password at user. Alright, and as you can see, our new user is added to our list, and the password is encrypted by default. Alright, oh my god, we forgot the slash, but I think everything is looking pretty good as far as adding a user is concerned. So now let's go ahead, and what I want to do is when you click a user, you are able to update that user. Okay, so let's go down here, and let's just add this small fix in here real quick for that slash. Now let's go to update user. So in here, let's define update underscore user with self and the user. So the user in our case is going to be the user tile itself. All right. So now we need a way to be able to click our user to update it. So let's go up. We already have our button behavior. Cool. So let's find the user tile, and let's give it button behavior so that now it's clickable. Okay, so now when we add, every time we add a user, which is right here, we want to make sure that when it's clicked, we update a user. So we are simply going to bind that user tile, which is there. And what do we want to bind? Well, we want to bind on release, because that is basically when a user clicks and releases, right? And what we want when that happens, well, we want to update a user. All right, don't put curly brackets in here, like don't put brackets, sorry, because Kivy is going to do this, because Kivy is going to call this function only when it's updated. When you put brackets here, you are going to call it immediately. You don't want that. All right, so Kivy is going to call this function with the whatever it was bound to. So in this case, it's going to call update user with this UT, which is the user tile. All right, now we already know that the user tile has all the info we need here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to construct the user. So first, we basically want to get our MV, which is our mod user model view. So mod user, and now we want to give it those properties. All right, so mv dot first name is equal to user dot first name, and then I'm just going to duplicate that. All right, and then this is going to be last underscore name underscore name. Ooh, can't type today. This is going to be username. This is going to be, do we really need created at? Nah, we don't need created at, and we don't need last sign in as well, because really we don't care, right? We are just modifying the user, not modifying when they last signed in. So we only need those three, and in our model view we want to go down here and we want to set our inputs to what they were, right? So we're going to say define on first name. That means when we get a first name, right, we, like, the properties are going to be the instance, which is basically who is setting this first name, and then the first name itself. And what we want to do with this information is just self.ids.fname.text, which is our text input for the first name, and we want to say the text for that is the first name. And now we basically want to do this for last name as well. So last name, L name, change this to L name, and that to L name. And then the next one is well, the username. So on username we can actually leave it as F name, it doesn't matter, like, right? So it's all done. Now the thing is, when we set a first name, we know that we are updating a user, otherwise we wouldn't be setting the first name. So the next thing we want to do is we want to change where is this? We want to change the text here to be update user instead of add user. So now we're going to reuse the same model view for adding and updating a user. So I'm just going to give this and just going to call this text. Actually, let's just call it title, right? And then enter details below, and give this an ID, and this is just going to be subtitle. Alright, so by default it's going to be that. Copy that, and then let's go back here, and when we set, like, we can do this on any of these functions, but for our use case I'm just gonna do this here. So the subtitle, since we are updating, we want to say enter details below to update user, and then for our title, the text, actually not the title itself. So the text is going to be that, and for our title, the text is going to be update user. So update user, just like that. Alright, and with that we are done. Alright, so now we need a callback for our mod user when we are updating a user. So what we're gonna do is just to define set update. Alright, so this is just going to take self and the model view that is updating this user. Alright, and for now we're just going to print updating. Alright, and in our MV here, after setting all this, we want to set the callback as well, and this is going to be self.set update, just like that. So now we want to, let's see, where is our set users? I believe we're done actually. So let's run this. Alright, first let's click add user to verify that it stays the same, right? We click that. Now let's click on any of these. So let's click on Julian here, and ooh, right now nothing's happening. Okay, let's find out why. Alright, so UT user tile did bind on release is equal to, well, that is strange, because that should definitely be working. Let's see why. Use it how is a button behavior. Well, this is interesting. One release software. Actually, it is working. Believe it or not, the only problem is because we are actually not opening the model view. All right, so let's just do that. Don't open, because after setting all that, you still need to open it, right? So add user still works. Click out of that. Click on John Doe here. So we have update user. Looks like we forgot an E here, but yeah, update user, John Doe, and all the info they have. So if we click on, we need to change this, but if we click on this, we should see updating down here. Alright, so first let's change that update. This should just be update user. And then for our button at the bottom, we are going to say ID is equal to button confirm. Right, so our button confirm now is going to change as well. So let's do self.ids.button confirm dot text is equal to update user. Okay, done. So that is it for this one, ladies and gents. If we click on any of these now, we can update our user using the same widget we created before. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding what we just did here, leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, as always, I'm Sam, and I will see you guys in the next one.